The year is 1940. The world is at war. Nazi Germany under Hitler's command has conquered much of Europe. The war has spread to North Africa. Here, the Axis powers led by Germany and Italy clash with the British Empire. Both sides seek control of the Mediterranean Sea. This vital waterway is a lifeline for supplies and reinforcements. The North African campaign was a secondary front in World War II. However, it had a significant impact on the larger conflict. Control of the Mediterranean was crucial for both sides. The Allies, primarily Britain, needed to keep the sea lanes open. This allowed them to supply their forces in Egypt and the Middle East. The Axis, on the other hand, sought to close these sea lanes. This would cripple the British war effort in the region. On the North African coast lies Tobruk. This Libyan port city became a key strategic objective. For the Axis, capturing Tobruk would be a major victory. It would provide them with a well-supplied port. This would support their advance eastwards towards Alexandria and the Suez Canal. For the Allies, holding Tobruk was vital. It would deny the Axis a strategic advantage. It would also buy time for the Allies to regroup and reinforce. Tobruk was well defended. It had been fortified by the Italians. They had built a series of strong points and bunkers around the city. These defenses were further strengthened by the British and their allies. They turned Tobruk into a formidable fortress. The stage was set for a long and bloody siege. The siege of Tobruk began in April 1941. The German Afrika Korps, commanded by General Erwin Rommel, surrounded the city. The defenders, a mixed force of British, Australian, Indian and Polish troops, were outnumbered. They were also outgunned. But they were determined to hold Tobruk. The desert environment was a formidable enemy. The scorching heat during the day, the freezing temperatures at night, and the constant dust storms made life unbearable. Water was scarce, supplies were limited. The desert took its toll on men and machines. The soldiers faced constant danger. German and Italian artillery bombarded their positions. Stuka dive bombers attacked from the air. Landmines and booby traps littered the battlefield. Section 4. The Rats of Tobruk. A beleaguered garrison. The defenders of Tobruk became known as the Rats of Tobruk. This nickname, initially intended as an insult by German propaganda, was adopted as a badge of honor. The Rats of Tobruk fought with tenacity and courage. They withstood constant attacks. They launched daring raids against enemy positions. They endured the relentless desert conditions. Life in the besieged city was a constant test of endurance. Food was rationed, ammunition was carefully conserved, medical supplies were always in short supply. Despite these hardships, the morale of the defenders remained high. They knew that their stand was important. They were holding the line against the Axis advance. Section 5. Key engagements. Turning the tide in the desert. There were several key battles and turning points during the siege. One such battle was the attack on the Italian fortress of Bir Hakeim. This strong point, located south of Tobruk, was a thorn in the side of the besiegers. In May 1942, the Free French forces, led by General Koenig, launched a fierce attack on Bir Hakeim. They fought with great bravery against overwhelming odds. They held out for 16 days. This allowed the British 8th Army to prepare for the Battle of Gazala. Another key turning point was the arrival of reinforcements. In August 1941, Operation Crusader was launched. This was a British offensive aimed at relieving Tobruk. The operation was initially successful. The siege was broken in December 1941. However, the fighting continued. Tobruk remained a strategically important location. It changed hands several times during the campaign. Section 6. Leaders of the siege, the commanders in the field. The siege of Tobruk involved several notable figures. On the Axis side, the most prominent was General Erwin Rommel. Known as the Desert Fox, Rommel was a brilliant tactician. He was a master of mobile warfare. He earned the respect of both his own troops and his enemies. On the Allied side, General Leslie Morshead commanded the Australian 9th Division. He played a key role in the defense of Tobruk. Morshead was known for his leadership and his concern for his men. Other notable figures included General Archibald Wavell, the British commander in the Middle East, General Claude Auchinleck, who replaced Wavell, and Air Vice Marshal Arthur Tedder, who commanded the Royal Air Force in the Middle East. These leaders faced formidable challenges. They had to contend with a determined enemy. They also had to overcome logistical problems and the harsh desert conditions. Section 7. Legacy of Defiance, Tobruk's Enduring Impact. The Siege of Tobruk had a lasting impact on World War II. Although it ended in an Axis victory, the siege had bought valuable time for the Allies. It had also shown that the Axis powers were not invincible. The Rats of Tobruk had become a symbol of Allied resistance. Their stand had boosted morale. It had shown the world that the Axis could be stopped. The siege had also exposed weaknesses in the Axis war machine. The German and Italian forces had been unable to capture Tobruk quickly. They had suffered heavy casualties. The siege had slowed their advance. This gave the Allies time to regroup and prepare for future battles. The legacy of Tobruk lived on. It served as a reminder of the courage and determination of those who fought there. It also highlighted the strategic importance of North Africa in the wider context of World War II.